Hello, welcome to Curl Up with Cathy Bramley. I am delighted to introduce my next guest to you. She's somebody that I admire immensely, and she's got so many strings to her bow. She's just incredible. Can't wait to have a chat with her. I'm going to introduce her now, and my guest today is Carmel Harrington. Carmel is going to join me any second. Hello.
Hi. Hello, Cathy. Hi, everybody.
How are you?
I'm so good. I'm really delighted to be here. Thank you.
Oh,
Yes,
thank you. Thank
I
you.
am.
And so it's Easter Monday as we record this. Did you have a nice Easter?
Did, yeah. Actually, I just took the day off yesterday because I'm almost finished writing my current novel, and I'm so close to the end. I have to kind of write every day to stay in the story. So I've been the whole way through this lovely pandemic we're in. I've just been writing and working away every day. But yesterday I took the day off, so I spent the day. Yeah, it was just lovely. We ate chocolate and I read books.
Great.
Yeah, it was really.
I had a little bit of chocolate, but I was actually quite good. Yeah, but we have got so much chocolate in the house.
Yeah. Our kids are at that age, like the Easter Bunny came, and they woke us up at about, it was before 7. They came into our bedroom and woke us up, and they had made their own little Easter baskets. It was really sweet.
Yeah.
And they went around, and also my daughter had lost her tooth, so the tooth fairy came too. So it was a busy old house here.
Wow. Yeah. And does the tooth fairy bring letters and things, or does she just put money?
Yes, she does. It's Pearl. Our tooth fairy is called Pearl.
Ooh.
And she usually writes little notes, and she tells the kids to brush their teeth and stuff like that. And, you know, she tends to remind Nate, my youngest, through Amelia, to brush his teeth, stuff like that.
Very clever.
But she was, do you know what, Cathy? I have to tell you, she was very generous because the tooth fairy obviously had no change. So she left 20 euros because that was the only money that was in her wallet.
Goodness me, what a very generous tooth fairy that was.
It was a pretty special one.
Yeah. Well, you know, Pearl may well have set a precedent now. No,
I think it was COVID related. It was a WhatsApp, it was very good,
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. Well, the reason I wanted to talk to you today was because you've got a new book coming out this week. I think is it already out in Kindle?
Yes, it's out in Kindle, and it's also out in Ireland. So it was published in Ireland last week, and then obviously in the UK on Thursday. So
okay, let's have a little look at it. There it is.
Oh, isn't that a lovely? That's a very nice screen. That's a lovely screen.
Isn't it? Yeah. So My Pear Shaped Life, and as you know, I absolutely adored this book. I read it a couple of months ago and really, really loved it. I've raved about it to everyone. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, sure. Oh, thank you so much, though. That really means a great deal. It's the central character is called Greta Gale, and she's in her late 20s. She's an aspiring actress, but her career has kind of gone pear-shaped, as has a lot of her life. She lives at home with her family, who are this wonderful, close-knit family, really, the Gale family are, but they are very opinionated, which a lot of Irish families, I think that is quite typical of Irish families, that everybody has a say in your life. And she's overweight, and her parents definitely would like her to lose weight. So things have gone really pear-shaped for her, and then something happens. I don't want to say what, but something happens that causes her to hit rock bottom. Couldn't say that, and has to kind of reevaluate her whole life. And ultimately, she ends up going on this epic road trip, really, that takes her from Ireland to Kansas, and then onwards to Las Vegas. And she goes on that with her Uncle Ray, who's also really struggling with his life at the moment. And he feels that his life is quite small. So they both try to rediscover who they are, and they meet up some people along the way. And yeah, it's a lovely, funny friendship novel about second chances, and ultimately about being kind to yourself as well as to others, really. And that's really the central message, that that we're all okay just as we are, really.
Yeah. And I love that relationship between Uncle Ray and Greta.
Yeah.
That was so special because they'd obviously got a really close relationship right from when she'd been little, and he was someone that she could go and talk to and confide in, and he didn't judge her or make fun of her like some of the other members of the family. So that was really, really nice. That really, really unusual. to have a
Yeah.
a male uncle niece relationship in the book
It
like
is,
that.
yeah, actually. But I would have a very close relationship with my aunt. She lives in Australia, but she's
Oh,
also my godmother. But we would talk, like we Facebook message, video
yeah.
message each other all the time, and we had a lovely long chat yesterday, in fact. But we would have a very close relationship, and yeah, I think kind of that was kind of the relationship I was writing about, really.
Oh,
She's
right.
someone I would always have confided in, and yeah, she's lovely, my aunt
And
Nancy.
is it true that you went on a road trip yourself to research this part of the book?
Yeah, I always do. Every book that I write, Cathy, I always do a lot of hands-on research. And I always
Mm.
find unless I get down and dirty with the characters, like they just don't work for me. So I've done all sorts of things in the name of research.
Have
And
you?
yes, I have actually. But the fun one for this book was very fun because this road trip happened, and I wrote the book first of all, full first draft, where I just used my imagination to do that road trip, and I used Google Maps and
Yeah.
YouTube and stuff like that. But it just didn't feel like it just felt quite flat, and it felt almost like I was writing a travel book, you know what I mean, and I wasn't really getting the emotional hit of all of the places they visited. So I decided to actually do the trip. So my husband and I, we took a week, and we basically hired a car, and we drove thousands of miles, and we
Wow.
drove from Kansas right through to Las Vegas. It was like,
Wow.
well, you've read the book, and so you've seen how transformational the journey was.
Yeah.
Because what I've called it, it was kind of like a yellow brick road of self-discovery for them. But it was like that for us too. The journey really, it was quite, there were moments in it where we were really, really stunned of the majestic beauty of some of the places we visited, like the Colorado Rockies and Monument Valley in particular. That I found that really life-changing for me. Just looking at those red pillars, that, I don't know if you know Monument Valley, but a lot of people would know it from the Forrest Gump, that scene where he's running and everyone's running behind him, and in the backdrop you have the red rock. Well, actually looking at that, these huge, beautiful pillars against the blue sky, it really felt like a moment for me, and I gave that to the characters, and Greta and her friend have that in the book too.
So I've seen quite a few articles where you've said that this is quite a personal book for you, writing this one. Did you feel that this was the time to do it, in terms of, now is the time to do this book? Tell us a little bit about your thought process.
Yeah, well, do you know what? Greta's been in my head noodling away for a long time. And I really wanted to write a character who was overweight, but properly overweight. I didn't want her to be like a Bridget Jones, curvy, or, the way we've seen, because actually in the book I do kind of mention this, but Martine McCutcheon in Love Actually, and people talk about her being overweight.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
she's
she's
absolutely
what?
gorgeous.
Yeah, she's like a 12 to 14 max. And I'm thinking, like, if that's overweight, like, I'm in serious trouble. So I wanted her to be she was overweight, full stop. There was no, she's curvy, she's overweight. But to do that, and to kind of share everything that goes with that, I knew that I had to kind of start asking myself some questions about how I feel about how I look. So I think when I started to write it, actually, I'm very hard on myself, and I was kind of my own worst critic. And while Greta and I are completely different, the thing we do share is we have that horrible heckler in our head that is always kind of putting ourselves down. And so for me, when I started to write it, I kind of went, okay, if I'm going to do this, I have to kind of really look at myself, and how do I see myself? And I went back to when I was a kid, and I went back to when I was, when I was a skinny 20-something-year-old, you know what I mean, where I didn't have a pick on me, as my dad would say, but I was a skinny out. And I went back to all of those times, and I still never felt enough. And I thought that was quite interesting, that we're always so hard on ourselves. It doesn't matter what size you are, we never feel that we're enough. So I found when I wrote the book, asking those questions of myself, it really was, I know it sounds very Oprah-like, but it was a journey for me too. And it was about halfway through the first draft, I started to kind of realize I needed to be kinder to myself. And so I've learned a lot from writing it.
Yeah.
It was actually joyful, really, to write it.
Oh, that's great. Well, that's brilliant. Because I'm going to say, you're very beautiful.
Oh, thank you. So you don't have to say that. Stop, but thank you.
But it's funny, isn't it, how we do see ourselves completely different. I remember looking back at pictures of myself, and I was 17 on a beach in this little bikini, and I remember thinking I was really ugly, at the time. And I look back and I think, oh my God, I was just gorgeous.
because you are
But
gorgeous. I
you
totally
don't
get it.
appreciate it at the time. You just don't.
Look, we really, when I went to Dublin when I was 18 because I'm from Wexford, which is quite a rural part of Wexford in the southeast of Ireland. And when I was 18, I got a job with Aer Lingus, our national airline. So I went to Dublin, and I was stopped on the street by these modeling. They were looking for models, and I was stopped, and they wanted me to go in because they wanted me to model because I'm tall, I'm 5'10", and at the time I would have been like a size 8 skinny. I suppose pretty, but for me, I just didn't believe them. I thought that I just didn't have any confidence. And I sometimes wonder if I had have done that, if I had have taken the card, because they were reputable, it was all above board, and they were a modeling agency. And if I had have gone and done that, would have my life gone off in a different way? But that's how I just didn't believe that I was good enough, even back then. Do you know what I mean? At 18, it was always that way. So I think for now, what I really want to do is just to own who I am now. And I'm a lot easier on myself now, but I want my kids to grow up feeling that they're enough. Do you know what I mean? So I want to teach them to be stronger in their selves too, really.
Yeah. There's, I think, when you, we were talking beforehand, I've got daughters, and it's really important how I'm a model for them, I'm a role model for them. And you want to model good behavior, and that sort of applies to healthy eating and exercise and living well and being happy and accepting and being confident. And there's all those things that, we sometimes we're not that good at doing for ourselves, but now you realize that whatever you do, you're modeling that behavior for your children. So it becomes even more important, doesn't it?
It is really important. And I think that, it's always good, like, because I'm certainly not saying, I will never say to my kids that it's okay to not be healthy. So for me, I will always try to be the best possible version of myself at any point in time. So I do try to eat healthy. Not that I did yesterday with Easter, I ate lots of chocolate, but in the main, I try to eat healthily, and I try to get walks in, I walk my dog, and I try to be healthy. And I would definitely like to lose some weight to be healthy. Do you know what I mean? So, but at the same time, that doesn't mean that I should be negative about how I look
beating
now.
yourself up.
No, the point is that you have to be the best possible version of yourself at any point in time, and accept yourself then, and not be kind of hiding away, because I've got to, I really have had moments over the last few years in particular where I've been really quite hard on myself, and I'm annoyed with that. You know what I mean? Be kinder to ourselves.
So that's the message of this book, My Pear Shaped Life. And it's out, obviously it's a Kindle now, and it's coming out in hardback. Is that right?
Hardback in the UK on Thursday. The 16th.
Yeah.
So excited. So excited.
Trade paperback in Ireland. Same day.
Yeah, and then a few days later, actually in Australia and New Zealand, it comes out in trade paperback as well. So
excellent.
I know.
So where can people get hold of the book at the moment? Well, from Thursday.
Yeah, so from Thursday. So I mean, Asda will have it. So your local Asda, which I believe there's one kind of everywhere, isn't there, really, in the UK? That's probably your best bet. And other than that, then your local bookshop. If they don't have it, they'll order it in for you.
Yeah.
And any of the online sites like Amazon or whatever, they have the hardback. You can order from them too.
There's do you have Hive in Ireland?
Yes, I've heard about Hive in the UK. That's hard, isn't it?
So Hive is sort of it's online, but if you can nominate your local bookshop, so they get a bit of the commission. So it's like ordering it from your local bookshop, but it's an online delivery. So that's great. They were offline for a little bit a couple of weeks ago, but they're back online now, so you can order through Hive.
That's amazing.
That's a good one.
That's really cool. Anything that supports your local bookshop is a winner for me, I have to say.
Definitely. So before we wrap up, can I just, because you're also on TV, aren't you?
I am actually, yes.
So
I am.
It's the Elaine show, is that right?
It's the Elaine show.
Get that in the UK. So
no, it's the Loose Women. It's basically the Irish version of that, or The View in America. So it's a panel show whereby I'm one of the regular guests. So they would have maybe a panel of about 20 people, alternate, who go on. So there's always Elaine as the host. So she always chairs it. And then there are 3 guests who go on and sit on the panel. And we talk about anything from what Kim Kardashian is up to politics. You know what I mean? It's always done in a very light and relatable way. And so you're sharing, you know, I'm not there to talk about my books. I'm there to talk about being a mother, a working mother. I'm there to talk about being a friend, a daughter, a sister. Do you know what I mean? And that's great fun. And usually,
How did that come up? How did you get that opportunity in the first place?
very unusual way, actually. I was asked to do a charity thing for Bernardo's, a children's charity, and they asked me to write a piece and perform it. And what they wanted to do is they wanted to get people out of their comfort zone, and that was out of mine. I literally, the thought of going on stage, because I never did anything like that in school. I was never, you know, I was very shy, extremely shy as a kid, and actually a lot. You know, people think because I'm on TV and I'm quite chatty that I'm not a shy person, but I quite am. You know, this is great because it's just you and I. Do you know what I mean? Put me in a large room and I'll find a corner to slink into. I'm quite a shy person. But anyhow, I did the Bernardo's thing, and when I did that, the producer of the Elaine show was there, and they saw me on stage, and they said, you know, you should come on and do the show, and I got a call, and I went and I did it, and I thought they'd never have me back, you know, but the first day I did it, actually, because you're not meant to do any shout outs to anyone, but the day I did it the first time, it was my mum's birthday, and I'm very close to my mum, so I wished her a happy birthday, and Elaine said, you know, I can't believe you just done that, and I said, oh, you know, I thought they probably won't have me back, you know what I mean, so I thought I might as well get my mother a happy birthday on TV, but that's nearly 5 years ago, and they've had me back. So, and you know, right now, because of the restrictions, I'm doing it from home. So here, this is like the TV set. So what we do is we do it through Google Hangouts. Yeah, it works quite well. So we still have the show is still going on, but
wow,
I'm doing it from home. I'm doing my own hair and makeup, so a lot of shiny faces, you know.
Well, we're all getting used to being seen at home, aren't we? Because there's a lot of, I don't know about you, but doing Zoom meetings and things like that, you know, it's a whole new world.
Oh, yours is lovely though. The shed is lovely. You know, it is.
Thank you.
We're just getting used to it. I just said to my husband before I started this with you, and I said, oh my God, look at the grey. Like, it's just crazy. But
I know,
so what could we, you know, it's just mad.
Yeah.
And I
mean,
kind of
roots.
wondered what I would be like to grow it out, but maybe I'm finding out, aren't I? You know, so.
I know. Yeah. Like my husband said, he'd read something like, in another 8 weeks, there'll be no blondes in the country.
Who knows? I know. It's crazy. It's so true, isn't it? You know, actually, my daughter even said that to me. She says, your hair is so dark underneath. And I'm going, yeah, actually. Funny that.
I know. Well, listen, it's been lovely to talk to you. I wish you every success with this beautiful book, My Pear Shaped Life. It's such a good story. I really recommend it to everyone to go out and try and get a hold of a copy. And I think it's only 99p on Kindle.
It's 99p on Kindle at the minute, which is like, isn't it? Like, I mean, you won't even get a cappuccino for that.
No.
And
you can't buy cappuccinos at the moment, so
no, you can't. Yeah,
no.
And then even the hardback is only $9.99 as well. So the hardback is a really good price.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
I can't wait to get my hands on it as well, because I haven't had it. You know, usually for an author, you get your author copies, and it's a moment, isn't it, when you get your box?
Yeah.
I haven't had that because of lockdown. I've received nothing. So anyhow, I can't wait to see the hardback, but hopefully readers will buy it and they'll share some pictures with me.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. Thanks so much for joining me. It's been lovely to talk to you. Take care, and all the best for your book launch.
Thank you, Cathy.
Week.
Thank you.
Take care.
And congratulations again on the Sunday Times bestseller.
Oh, thank you.
So happy for you. So happy.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Carmel Harrington there, talking to us from Wexford. How gorgeous was that? It was lovely to talk to her. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll be back with some more of your favourite authors very soon. Take care. Bye.